Hello everybody and welcome once again to a Q&A live Sunday with me, Leigh from Kon Valley Campers, and I am here to answer any of your questions regarding camper vans, van conversion, maybe van maintenance, travelling, or anything else you're after. I do this every Sunday. I try to do this every Sunday between the hours of 8 and 9. Normally the plan is we release a video at 6 p.m. on the Sunday evening and then we can talk about it on the live, or it can just be a live Q&A for you and everybody else to benefit from. So we can just have an hour chatting between ourselves. So if you are watching, you do want to be involved in a chat straight away, please go straight down into the comments, give us a little wave, or what we normally do is you tell us who you are, where you're from, what van you drive if you have one, and if you've been camping this weekend, if you've done any work on your van this weekend, or what you've been doing generally. The other thing we like to ask almost immediately is, what are you drinking? Now, the last couple of weekends, I've had like a vodka or a beer or a cider or whatever. Trusty cup of tea this evening. Nice and chilled. It's been a busy weekend actually. So let's get straight into the chat. Straight away, we've got what looks like 12 people in the chat, which is fantastic. Good evening, everybody. We're getting straight into the comments, who you are, where you're from, what van you have, etc., etc. James is the first one in and said, good evening, Leigh. Paul Warren is in, says, evening, Leigh. Did you get the beetle pic I sent you? Paul, how did you send it? Did you send it via Instagram, Facebook, email? I'd have to double check. James said back, can't be a good old cuppa. Yes. How do you take yours? There's the debate straight away. There's the topic of conversation straight away. I have mine white with 2 sugars. And also, do you put the milk in after the tea bag or before? Who knows? Who knows? Me, tea bag in, tea bag out, milk in, sugar in. Paul Warren says email. I can send it again via Insta. Thank you very much. Alan Carr, Pierre Pereira, sorry, so sorry for any discrepancy in your name. I didn't even say the surname. Guimares says, hi daddy, good evening. James says, milk, no sugar, milk after, good stuff. Paul Warren says, coffee stout here. Nice, absolutely. And as you can see, we've got it in our Combe Valley mug as well. Kieran Hudson says, black, leave the tea bag in for maximum tannins. Now, I can only do a black tea with sugar. I can only do a black coffee with sugar. I just can't handle it without sugar. Alan Carr Pereira Guimares says, very good, you spoke Pereira very well. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, did anybody watch the video we released at 6 p.m? We released a video on how to fit the new T5 floor. We've developed like an inlay to help you lay the floor easier. Who watched it? Let us know. Tim is in, says, bonjour Leigh, hope you and the family are good. Evening from a wet and windy Somerset. Yeah, we've been pretty wet and windy down this way as well. Our neighbour's fence has fallen down. I've driven, I've been working in a mate's workshop all weekend, and there were trees down in the road, all sorts of stuff. Larry Geshenk says, what the hell, mate, is going on? We look the same, mate. I'd have to have a double check of your profile picture. Yeah, I'd have to have a look at your profile picture. My name's Leigh. This is the Kon Valley Campers YouTube channel. I do a live every Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. Answer your questions regarding camper vans, camper conversions, things like that. Looks like we've got some sort of spammy going in right here. Alan Carr has said, no, you can't already get engaged. Okay, thank you very much. Emma O'Hagan's here. She says, hi gang, Emma and China from Bristol, converting a Peugeot Boxer short wheelbase, and your channel is Bible. Thank you so much. Well, that's the first time I've heard the channel is Bible before, but thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for taking the information away. And yeah, I hope we can be of benefit moving on. Ricardo says he's just turned over from that video. Ricardo, thanks for watching. Larry says, we look alike. What do you reckon? 40 plus, balding male, grey beard. It's a good look, man. It's a good look. Larry, sorry. Tim then says, yes, watch the floor vid. Nice floor, mate. Well, thank you very much. Apparently, some spammer who's apparently YouTuber says, chat service, hello, we're contacting you regarding community guideline breaches. You have 20 minutes to reply with your justification. Type 1 to find out more. No, not going to do that. AV Films says, sup. Good evening, AV Films. Nice to see you. Kieran Hudson says, I'm in Northwest and just a bit of wind here, now different. Oh, good. This is the thing, when I put lives in, and I'm starting to do lives more often, it's like any sort of post you put out, you get spammy people trying to jump in. So if you're seeing them, if you want to kick them out, see what you can do. I don't know how much I can do from this end. That's what happens. That's what happens. Peter Vega says, hello from Texas, USA, restoring a 71 Westphalia T2. Learn great tips from your videos for my project. Peter, thank you so much for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Hope the project's going well. There we go. Raja Chaderi says, Leigh and Larry are looking the same as brothers. Albert Burr says, you're very handsome. Thank you very much. Alan Carr says it doesn't know too many words in English. Ricardo's back in. Says, need to get some floor laid myself. I have a T5 satin matte black getting lowered next week. Nice. Very nice. Gary Plumley says, evening all from a wet and wild High Wycombe. AV Film says, tell me something about your country without naming it. National drink is a cup of tea. Tim Pope says, ooh, Tom Segura. Tim, don't know who you are, don't know who Tom Segura is, but thanks for coming in and chit-chatting away. This is crazy. I think the YouTube algorithm is starting to push more lives. I don't know. We've got 46 people in the chat and 5 thumbs up. If you're watching this, if you like what we're seeing, please go ahead and like the live. Apparently there's 3 dots up here somewhere that you might be able to give a thumbs up for us. AV Film says, want me to report the scammer? Please do, if you can. I don't want to disturb the live, so I don't really want to go start pressing buttons whilst I'm here with you. Florence Nicholas says, South Carolina. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. S1OPP or COP says, evening chat, good evening. So for those who are tuning in, we seem to have lots of new faces and names. My name's Leigh, this is the Combe Valley Campers live Q&A. We build and convert camper vans on this channel, and we help you how to we teach you how to build your van, build your adventure. And I'm here on a Sunday in the UK between 8 and 9 p.m. To answer your questions. We've just put a video out this evening on our main channel regarding fitting a camper van floor. Put your hands up if you've seen it. So a couple of people have already let me know that they have seen it. And who's got any questions regarding camper vans or conversions? And also what you're drinking. I have a good old cup of tea right here in my Kon Valley Campers mug. Also wearing a camper van t-shirt today. Can you see it? There you go. Hang on. Camper van at the bottom there. Who doesn't have a camper van t-shirt? Emma Hagen has got 2 hands up, thank you. Tim has come back in, says, I've blocked the spammer, or at least I don't have to read the rubbish. Just click on the 3 dots next to their message. Again, I don't quite know what to do. 53 people in and watching, good evening. Have you got any questions for me? Eva Film says, are you having a good day? Do you know what? I am having a good day. I've spent my weekend at a friend's workshop. I live down in the southeast. A neighbouring town is Rye in East Sussex. His workshop's over there. And I have been helping him fit his headliner all weekend. I headed over there first thing Saturday morning. We did like a 12-hour day. We did like 9:30 till 9:30 on Saturday, fitting a headliner to his Dormobile T2 bay window camper van. And we finished it up today by just finishing off some details, fitting a windscreen glass, fitting a side glass. It's been really, really nice. Paul Warren says, sent you a pic of Demels of the Beetle. I've got to dash off to go and rescue a poorly T5. Hopefully be back before the end of the live. Paul, see you later. Florence Nicholas says, what's Combe Valley? Combe Valley Campers is the name of my business. It's named after an area in my local town called the Combe Valley Way. It's like a bit of Greenland, nice bit of area between 2 towns. Long story short, I called the business Combe Valley Campers because they were building a link road between 2 towns. It was going to be it's called the Combe Valley Way. They were going to build industrial units on it. I thought, how cool would that address be? Combe Valley Campers on the Combe Valley Way. Bexhill, East Sussex. I thought that would be really, really cool. Thank you so much, AV Films, for saying it's just like the live. Thank you so much. 49 interview. Can we get 49 thumbs up? Apparently there's 3 dots around here, and you can click that and give the video a thumbs up if you like it. So yes, Florence Nicholas, that's what Combe Valley is. Combe with 1 O, C-O-M-B-E. So yeah, what have you guys been doing this weekend to your camper van, or what have you been doing this weekend in general? Have you been out camping? What have you been up to? It would be lovely to know. Leave it down in the comments. Tim says, I noticed in the floor vid, you have already fitted the bed and units, ? Right, so the camper van is actually finished. We have a backlog of videos ready to show you guys. And the outro for that video, we either had to refilm or we didn't film an outro for one reason or another. So the outro, I mean, it's all a bit of editing magic. The outro for that video was actually filmed like in September or something. And that video was filmed in something like July. So yes, that's why it's like that. A lot of these videos moving forward, because there's a difference in time frame, and we didn't have access to our camera guy all the time, there's going to be a bit of variation in the videos, but they're still going to have the same value and educational purposes as they always do. Come on, people. What are you drinking this evening? Who's got a beer on? Who's got a cup of tea on? AV Film says, I went car spotting and saw some unique cars. Sweet job. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Mr. Paul Tracy says it's been throwing down in Manchester. 333 says, so what? Who cares? Do something worth streaming. Well, funnily enough, 333, we get people tuning in every week and they really like the live. What would you like me to stream? Gaming? Because everybody does that. I like to do something different. And right here, right now, I'm doing a live AMA Q&A for everybody out there who bothers to tune in and comment something valuable. So there you go. James says, have you seen the Savvy Van control panels? What do you guys use? I have seen the Savvy Van control panels. We were going to fit it in one vehicle. We're fitting it in another one moving forward, and we're going to have them on display in our showroom as well. So that'll be really good fun. We are building a showroom right now at Kon Valley Campers, much like, I don't know, any other showroom where you can try and test different materials, interior units, rock and roll beds you can sit on and use and operate. So if you are in the market for shopping for different bits and pieces, you can actually come down to the showroom and try it out before you buy, really. AV Films has come back in, says he's got a fresh bottle of water. Nice work. Tim says, I lost my vape pen down the dashboard of my T5, never to be seen again. Can't find a seal wide enough. Any suggestions? Yes, do you know what? We did do a video a long time ago when we were building the 2K T5. Yes, I know it's not finished yet. It is coming up. News on that later. There is a rubber trim that you can stuff down the gap between the dash and the windscreen. It's available from Heritage Parts Centre, from Transporter HQ, loads of different places do it. And it's not even a self-adhesive thing, it's literally a triangular wedge-shaped rubber, and you just tuck it right in at the bottom of the dash, in between the windscreen and the dash, and it stops your pens and everything else rolling down there. So, if you need to know. Where's Wilma is in. Good evening. Says, hi Leigh, Kieran and Catherine in Boston. We had a great weekend this weekend, picked up a new car, and then we got Wilma back from the local camper workshop. Lots of cool new stuff. Awesome. What have you got in there? What have you got in there, guys? Kieran and Catherine. Be interested to know what work you've had done. Motivate. Goggy says, hey, how's it going, my man? Can you double check if you've received those rubbers? I thought they'd been sent out. If they've not, I'll double check with the guys on Monday morning. Ricardo is in. He says he's just bought a Bluetti power station for my van. Can't wait to try it out. Nice work. There are so many power packs available now, isn't there? There is Bluetti, Jackery, EcoFlow. There's so many different things. What size have you gone for, Ricardo? And what are you going to be running off it? Are you going to be just charging your phone, your laptop and stuff off it, or have you got quite a big one so you can use maybe a kettle or an induction hob? Where are we? AV Film says, I'm going to move on right now. Thanks for your time. See you another day. AV Films, nice to see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Where's Wilma says, question, is insulation and sound deadening on the cab worth the money? Cost versus reward kind of situation. Do you know what? Yes, I would say it is. And that's not just me upselling, because we sell the sound deadening cab upgrades and things like that. It is worth the time, especially the cab doors. And especially up the front of the bulkhead as far as you can go in, say, a transporter floor, because you've obviously got engine and drivetrain noise, and that is different from road noise. So you insulating and sound deadening the back of the vehicle, let's say from the front seats back, that is brilliant because there's large panels that reverberate and vibrate at a certain frequency, and there's different types of noises. You can get sort of ambient noise, road noise, mechanical noise, and you're just trying to stop all of those different things. So adding an extra layer of sound deadening on the cab floor, that will really restrict that down, and sound deadening and insulation on the cab doors as well, and even on that ceiling. So obviously right above the windscreen, it's an area that you're going to get wind noise, etc., buffeting. So adding a layer of sound deadening and insulation is good. It just adds to it. So yes, it is some money. It's more work, because you've effectively got to strip out the entire dash and the door cards and everything else, but we do have a video on it. I think we call it T5 cab upgrades or something on the channel. I would say it definitely is. I've noticed a difference. We have Guy from Wuhan, China saying dog, then he says dog, and then he says dog, and then he says cat. Motivate says, haven't received anything yet, but I appreciate it and can't wait. No worries, we will sort that out. JC's in, he says, what's up, bro? What's up, my man? Nice to see you. Ryan Barkley says, have you escaped from a monastery? Not this week, no, but maybe next. This is where I am, actually. I'm actually in a monastery, of course I am. JC says, watching from Dublin, Ireland. Nice. Nice to see you, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Do you know what? I was looking at my stats on YouTube the other day, and obviously most of our viewers and subscribers are from mainland UK. Second highest viewers is from the USA, and third is Ireland. So thank you so much for tuning in. AV Films is coming, says stop spamming, stop spamming. David says Mike Hawk loves you. Don't know who Mike Hawk is, but cheers. S1OPP or Slop or Psyop says, I put CCTV cameras up. Now I have to live with the shame of a dirty van roof. Yeah, do you know what? Keeping that roof clean is quite handy, because obviously any dirt that comes down can work into your door rubbers and just cause problems later down the line. Also, if you have solar panels on the roof, you can really affect the efficiency of solar panels if you keep them grubby. Tim says, I got an EcoFlow River 2 Max power station and the portable solar panels. Does everything I need. Great piece of kit. Yeah, brilliant, man. They are really, really good. And yeah, they're a perfect solution, especially for people who aren't maybe fully committed in a permanent setup in their van, because you can kind of justify the purchase of these power banks for two reasons, kind of. You can use them in your van or even in your home in a power cut or emergency or something like that. So they are really, really good. Ricardo came back and he said he went for a 600 watt just to run a small fridge. I'm hoping it'll be up to the job. Absolutely, Ricardo. And I'm sure with yours, the same as the EcoFlows, you can get the demountable solar panels that you can just mount out wherever you want, plug them into your power pack, and you're good. You're good to go. Motivate Goggy says, what do you call 5 security men guarding a Samsung store? I don't know. Is it something like useless or unnecessary? I don't know. Alex Renouse, he's back in this evening. Well done. Thank you so much for tuning in. He's one of our regulars, and we really appreciate our regulars and everybody else, actually. He says he's drinking whiskey as usual. Nice work, nice work. For anybody else out there, this is what we do on our chat. If you've just tuned in, we like to discuss what we're drinking this evening. I've just got a cup of tea, and Alex says he's drinking whiskey as usual. Dylan Bezuidenhout. I hope I've said that right. Unlikely though. Says, what's up, dude? Greetings from South Africa. Nice to speak to you, Dylan. What are you doing? What's up? Do you have a camper van, or are you just tuning in? Did this pop up in your feed? Oh, that's a question, actually, because I don't see what you see. So you obviously see me chit-chatting on the live. Do you see all the comments? And how does it pop up on your phone? Is it depending on notifications? Does it just say Combe Valley Campus is live, or do you get an email? Do you get a notification? That'd be really interesting. It'll be nice to know that I'm getting the settings right so I can appeal to as many people as possible. Whereas Wilma says, to answer your question about what we got van shades, new ply, new Altro flooring, new pop top, sorting some cut corners from previous owner. Thanks for answering the insulation, makes total sense. Oh, and they've got a Fiamma awning. Man, you guys have gone to town. That is awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, if you've bought a used camper van, especially the T5, T6 Transporter Market, maybe even the Transit Custom, especially like post-COVID, there are a lot of van conversions out there that have been done by people on their drives. Not that I'm against that, I encourage that. But there's a lot of people who have maybe built some camper vans during COVID to make a quick buck when van values and camper van values were super high. And you're right, in some cases they did cut corners. Collie's Camera Action, that's a rad username, nice work. Thumbs up for the van shades from me. Had curtains before, but they weren't very good as blackouts. Yeah, we absolutely love van shades. We run them on our van and we love them to bits. Guardians of the Galaxy, you're welcome, says Goggy. Oh, very funny. So the start of the joke was, I get it. What do you call 5 security men guarding a Samsung store? Guardians of the Galaxy. I like it. Mr. Paul Tracy says, drinking the Amber Nectar. Now, what do you regard as the Amber Nectar? I always thought the Amber Nectar was like a Foster's. What do you regard as the Amber Nectar? Brian Cox says, had your notification okay, which is great, as I forgot you'd be live. Well, thank you very much. Collie's Camera Action. Again, this feedback's brilliant. It says, just happened to see the red live symbol next to your name in my list of people I subscribe to. Wicked. Well, I know that sort of system's working. Where's Wilma says, worst part about our corners that were cut is that it was done by a company, apparently. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Dylan's back in, says, just going on the live feed, and yes, we camp a lot. Brilliant stuff. We camp a lot in Africa, he continues to say in another comment. Brilliant. Yes, somewhere I'd love to explore one day. Ricardo says, I plan to add a DC to DC charger to have dual charging, and I'm going to guess that's to go with his Bluetti he spoke about earlier. Snacks31, good evening. I was watching your split charge video the other day as I'm fitting a diesel heater to my work pickup, Renault Master, and want to run it off a leisure battery. Thanks, mate. You are very welcome. This is it, the split charge videos, the videos we generally do. Yes, we work on a lot of VWs, so a lot of our videos are centered around VWs. But the information is applicable for most, if not all, vans. So I'm glad that Snacks31 has watched our video. He's got a work pickup truck Renault Master, and he's been able to use our video regarding split charge to run his leisure battery, to run his diesel heater. Good stuff. Alex says he's bought a Bluetti Charger 1 on Friday. Hope it delivers what it claims. Good stuff. Mr. Paul Tracy says correct Foster's. Sarandeep Singh says for internet, use a 5G router or Starlink. I guess that depends what your requirements are for mobile internet and your budget as well. I would say using a 5G router would probably be fine in most places in the UK. If you plan on going more rural, then you might find that a Starlink is exactly what you want. We have recently fitted two different vehicles, and I think the units are fairly cheap to buy. Let's call them £300, anywhere between £300 and £500. So the actual Starlink dish and the modem, etc. And but it's the monthly subscription. I think it's now about £90 a month to have anywhere broadband anywhere on Starlink. So yeah, I guess it depends. Like I said, it depends on your requirements and on your budget. Faffles99, that's a great username. I was scrolling through lives and I found you. Well, thank you very much. Okay, so we're like 25 minutes in nearly. For those who have just been scrolling through the lives, looking for people doing live feeds, my name's Leigh. This is the Kon Valley Campers YouTube channel. I do lives on a Sunday where I have an AMA, Q&A. You ask me anything about camper vans, People have asked me about how's the King last week. It was all sorts of bizarre people coming in and having a chit chat. But yeah, generally people ask questions about camper vans or converting vans or products or equipment, and I do my best to answer them. Justin Lim, I can also confirm sound deadening the cab is worth it, especially on older vans. Don't have to shout to have a conversation, definitely. Also on the Black Cherry Rum and Coke in Lancaster. Black Cherry Coke Rum and Coke. Nice. Do you know what? That's one that's going to have to go on the list, I think. Yeah, that sounds nice. Justin Lim, van shades also better than curtains. Yeah, absolutely. Dylan says, wonderful country, talking about South Africa. Casper the Friendly Cooking Apple was in last week. So thanks for coming back. He says, have a Sunday Stella on the go. Cheers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Motivate Goggy says, will you guys be doing a Halo roof anytime in the near future? I haven't found a single video on YouTube. No, we haven't done one. I don't know if we're doing one in the near future either. I believe Halo roofs are cool. Oh, do excuse me, running out of breath. Maybe you're. Halo roofs are cool, but you might find they impede on roof space because obviously you've got to have double layers. Psyop says, I have Starlink. It's super useful, especially in France. Yes, who else has Starlink or any other advice regarding 5G? Dylan says, went hunting yesterday, shot a 300 kilo kudu. What is a kudu? I have no idea. Don't know what kudu is. Collie's camera action. I just linked my MacBook to my phone's personal hotspot. Phone has unlimited data. There's another option. Mobile phone, a 5G router, or a Starlink. Any others? Ryan Barkley, do you recall the film Supervan? That's not the one with the transit, is it? From like the 70s. That's the only Supervan I know of. Faffles99 says, what camper vans do you recommend for a person not familiar with them? Are we talking brand? Be it Volkswagen, Ford, Renault, Vauxhall, or are we talking size? He said, yeah, Faffles, VW Transporter. Tim has just replied to Faffles. This is great, just as a side note. People who are reading the comments as well as listening to me, go ahead, please do. Answer other people's questions. It's really, really cool. Impart your own advice. I think that's fantastic. For a person not familiar with them, Tim is right. A VW Transporter, be it a T5, T6, they're the most modern iteration of the VW Transporter. They are probably the best because, and not that I'm having any sort of favoritism here, they're great because you can get any parts for them. Most companies do some sort of conversion parts for them, so they're the easiest to convert pretty much. However, that being said, if you need a bigger van, the likes of a Crafter or a Sprinter are good. If you are a lone person camping, you might consider a Ford Connect or a VW Caddy. It just depends on your personal circumstances, your budget, your requirements for a camper van, etc., etc. What might help Faffles99 is if you potentially go and rent a camper van for a weekend. There's lots of companies in the UK and elsewhere that you can rent a camper van for a day, for a night, for a weekend, for however long you want, I guess. And that will help you decide what you might or might not want from a camper van. I hope that helps. Tony's in. Tony lost in a VW. He's in. He says, good evening. Good evening. Julian Martin, drinking San Miguel. I have a Vivaro and used it to take my Fireblade to the TT this year. I want to fit L-track/M-track to secure it, but also use as camper. Have you ever done something similar? Yes, we have. If you have no requirement, Julian, first of all, thanks for chipping in and coming in and saying hi and asking a question. If you have zero requirement to carry people in the back, i.e. needing a crash-tested or certified seat, the world is your oyster when it comes to van layout. I would suggest you fit your Fireblade in the back at a position where it is comfortable. You might need to move some cargo points over to one side or the other, or maybe find a motorbike mount that would keep the van one side or the other. And then you just start mocking up designs around what space you have left, because you can have these slide out beds, for example, they can be a bench seat during the day. You can slide them out, you can turn them into like a 3/4 width or double bed, and then you can fit stuff underneath them or around them. Or you just use your van for just sleeping and you do all of your living outside. This is what we tend to do as a family. Once we get to site, kind of everything comes out of the van. We take our food, our drink, our cooking utensils, our stove, they all come out of the van. We don't cook or wash up or anything in a van whatsoever. I hope that helps. Mr. I says, guys, help. Any Clayton LPS fitters in Scotland? Do you know what? We have fitted a Clayton LPS. They're not that difficult to fit. Go and check out Urban Arcoverland's videos. We're going to have a video coming out about the Clayton that we fitted moving forward. But the Clayton is, for those who don't know, the Clayton is very similar to the EcoFlow slash Jackery slash Bluetti in that it's a built-in power pack. It's got a battery in it, a DC to DC converter, MPPT solar controller, and an inverter. But rather than an EcoFlow or Bluetti that is removable, a Clayton is a power pack that is designed to be permanently mounted in. We prefer them because you can mount everything to it. You don't need any extra equipment. But the Clayton LPS, using the diagrams, using somebody like Urban Arcoverland's video as guidance, they're not that difficult to wire in whatsoever. That being said, is there anybody in the comments that has any camper van conversion companies or fitters in Scotland that they could recommend? Collie's Camera Action says 4G ample for me, even 3G is okay. What are people watching / downloading? Very good point. Ryan Barkley said, yes, it could be. Vague recollection, well done. What did Ryan Barkley ask before? My apologies. Do you record the film Supervan? Yes. Yeah, it could be. Vague recollection, well done. Collie's Camera Action. Most gear is oriented towards the VW Transporter, furniture, etc. That's right, for more choice. Casper, the Friendly Cooking Apple, thinking of fitting solar, what do you reckon is the minimum wattage you can get away with? Again, all of these questions depend. Depends on what your requirements for the batteries are. It depends on the size of the batteries you have. It depends on what you want to run from your system. We have in Bully, which is my 40-year-old T3 camper van, we have a 160 amp hour lithium battery, the 3 kilowatt inverter. We do everything from that little battery. I say little. It's a 160 amp hour leisure battery. We do everything from that battery. And we have one 150 watt solar panel, and it's a flexible solar panel. It's not even a solid one, and that tops it up nicely. We've had something like 700 watts in a day, if not more, from that little solar panel, and that really boosted the panel. I would say, let's call it 100 to 150 is your absolute minimum really you want to go. But again, it all depends. Brian Cox says, looks like the Kudu is an antelope, according to Google. Well, thank you very much, Brian. I don't have the opportunity to Google while I'm here. Maybe I should set myself up on some sort of proper live rig. I'm just doing this from my iPhone right now. But I know live streamers and things, they have like 4 screens going on. They have different camera angles, editing suites. I don't have that. That's just me, my iPhone, in my kitchen. That's where I am right now. I'm in my kitchen. We're just doing it here, because why not? Keep it cheap and cheerful, huh? Collie's Camera Action. I have a Transit custom long wheelbase. Had to choose items very carefully to make sure they all fit together. Absolutely. So Collie's Camera Action have probably gone through quite a bit of research through different companies, different interiors to get everything done. What you will find on a Transit Custom, for example, is that they're quite wide. They've got a lot wider hips than a VW Transporter, so you could potentially go for a wider bed or a wider interior. Where's Wilma says Discovery 4 with roof tent and deep pockets. You will do, I think. You do need deep pockets with a Discovery 4. Faffles99 says, thank you for the great advice. Make me want to subscribe. Please do. That would be very, very nice of you. Thank you so much. Again, we are 35 minutes in. I'm going to do like a 10-minute reminder. Let's do this. If you are watching this, there's 40 of you right now, allegedly, according to my readout. I've got 19 thumbs up. If you've had any value from any of my comments, questions or answers, or anybody else's comments, questions or answers, please do us all a favour. Hit the little thumbs up. That's where mine is right here. There should be 3 dots on the side somewhere. Give the video a thumbs up. That really helps me. If you know anybody that likes this sort of content or that would benefit from this sort of content or our channel as a whole, please feel free to share us. And of course, like and subscribe if you could. That'd be wonderful. Thank you so much. Justin Lim's back in. Says, do you do the VW wave? This one, of course. I'm an old, I say old school. I'm 40. But I've been into VW since I was like 7. When I watched my first Herbie film. And so, yes, going down to Newquay, doing the VW Wave. I've had Beetles, I've had Bays, I've had campers all my driving life. So, yeah, we do the VW Wave. Sarandeep Singh says, bro, if you come to Wolverhampton, I can show you our camper club and give you treats. Sounds like a great offer, man. Whereabouts? Where's Wilma? Says, though changing from a roof tent to a van is a game changer. Yes. Not going outside to bed. Do you know what? We had a roof tent on our camper van in the summer. Oops, might have let something out there. Yes, we've been using, in fact, if you're a regular on the channel, you would have seen that we are now Fiamma agents. So we retail and fit Fiamma gear for people. And we use their new Fiamma Moonlight tent. And we gave it a really good road test in the summer, going all over Europe in our camper van and the roof tent. And yes, do you know what? A roof tent is a bit of a faff. It's certainly more of a faff than a pop top, but I feel it's got a bit of a charm to it. I kind of liked it. I kind of liked being up in the tent. Generally, the dynamic we had is that myself and my oldest daughter were up in the roof tent and my youngest and my wife were in the van. It kind of worked. I have no problem sleeping in a tent or on a roof. Here we go. Mortensen Tube, here we go. This is where our lives are going out to more people. Says, is that your real hair? No, do you know what? It's fake? Shall I just, of course it's my own hair. I have none here, but I seem to have lots of greys going on around here. But yes, it's real. I take great care in making this super grey, and more grey by the day, so it seems. Collie's Camera Action says, used to have a bench seat bed, but I got annoyed as most of my storage was under them. Lots of time spent on knees rummaging. Yes, there you go. More and more people are finding storage solutions on the walls using molly boards and hooks and little storage pockets and things like that. Mr. I says it's the old system electrics that worry me. Thanks, not a problem at all. Ryan Barkley says, where's the Al Brooks film with Julie Haggerty from 1984-ish camper van classic? I don't know. Someone Google it quick. James says 150 amp hour battery doesn't sound a lot for that size of inverter. It was a 160 amp hour lithium battery for a 2 kilowatt inverter. I might have got my figures mixed up. So yeah, 160 amp hour lithium battery, 3 kilowatt inverter. If I'm good and I'm sensible with it, it can last me and the family a weekend. That's using a kettle, that's cooking off it, using the inverter, the air fryer, etc., charging phones of an evening. If you've got the solar charging during the day or you're doing day trips during the day, then you have then you're just charging it up as well. Brian Cox, he is here. I had to look because I thought it was a fish, a kudu. Yeah, absolutely. Motivate Goggy says, Leigh, do you have an induction cooking or gas? As tech and lithium powered devices are becoming the norm, and I see gas is becoming a thing of the past. Yeah, kind of half and half. I think people having permanently mounted gas in camper vans might be on the decline. And yes, obviously lithium batteries are becoming cheaper. Things like induction hobs and air fryers are becoming cheaper. And you know, if you go to a campsite, if you're one of these people who goes to campsites, hook up is X amount a day. So having kettle, toaster, air fryer, induction hob, electric blankets, whatever it might be, is becoming more and more regular. I personally, in my Type 25 and actually in our T6 during the summer, we used an induction hob. But, and I won't let the cat out of the bag yet, I might be using gas more and more. Ryan Barkley gives us a thumbs up. Collie's Camera Action says 40, looking good. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Whereas Wilma says, are you going to the Run to the Sun in 2025? Yes, we are. Don't quite know what vehicle we're going in yet, but yes, we're going to Run to the Sun in 2025. Julian Martin is in, says, chatting to a chap the other day whose friend had a converted camper and had bonded a panoramic roof from a written-off car. Might be worth a video. Yeah, do you know what? I've seen this. I've seen this before. Not my cup of tea, because if I'm putting a panoramic roof on a van, it means I've got it's a huge space in the roof where all the heat's going to escape from. And also it's a huge space in the roof that I'm going to have to put a blackout blind or a curtain on. So that is an unlikely video moving forward, but a wicked idea. Alex Renouf says air fryer was a fantastic idea for the van. Do you know what it really is? When you're in a 40-year-old camper van in a French campsite in the Pyrenees, and your air fryer is going ding, and you're cooking chips and a burger, you get some looks. It's quite funny. Taraku00 Railways says greetings from South Africa. Our second South African watcher this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tim says, Lee, want to get a bottle jack for my van. Any idea what tonnage I need could get away with? Do you know what, Tim? That is a question I don't have an answer for. If you want, maybe pop that in an email to info@comvalleycampers.com. .com, haven't used that for years. info@comvalleycampers.co.uk. I will look into that for you. If you really want me to, I can do that. But I don't have an answer for that off the top of my head, I'm afraid. Brian Barkley says, Lost in America, 1985, Warner Brothers camper van classic. Okay, I'm going to have to get on that. Need to have a look at that. Collie's Camera Action says, removable Cadac for me. I spend about 10 minutes a day cooking, so I like a clear worktop. No fitted sink either. Yeah, you will. Yeah, I have a friend that uses a Cadac. In fact, I don't think he's in today. But it's Warren from Silver Fox Builds. He uses a Cadac for everything. And whilst I was away with him a few weekends ago, we used the Cadac also, and it's a great piece of kit. Whereas Wilma says, awesome, we'll see you there at Run to the Sun then. Going to be a long drive, but should be well worth it. Do you know what? We have been to Run to the Sun for the last 2 years. It started up again 2 years ago. We went to the first one. It was amazing. We went to the second one. It got bigger. Which is incredible, and I know the team are working very, very hard to just make that bigger and bigger and better every year, so I really look forward to what it's got going on. Loads of camping. They even had these really glamorous showers there last year, which was super cool. It's a long drive for us. Last time, on our drive down there, it took us over 10 hours, I think, last time. Hell of a drive. Toraku Railway says, Elizabeth over here, smiley face, piano emoji, prayer emoji or thank you emoji, and a train. Well, thank you very much. Don't know what that means. Or is your name Elizabeth? If so, good evening, Elizabeth. It is currently 42 minutes past 8 in the evening in the UK. If you are watching this and you haven't done so yet, who are you? Where are you from? What van do you drive? Have you been working on it this weekend? Have you been travelling in it this weekend? This is normally the questions we ask in this live chat. We've had some people chatting and commenting in that sense so far, but there's Where's Wilma, where they've already explained who they are, but the likes of Toraku, you might be Elizabeth, I don't know. Brian Cox, excellent. Collie's Camera Action. Full names, vans, what do you have? Not full names, I'm not that nosy, but it's nice to put a name to the avatar/username. That's what I'm getting at. Where's Wilma says 900 watt chi-free air fryer is the way forward. Brian Cox says 2 ton would be fine for a bottle jack. You won't be lifting the whole van, I assume, at one side. Collie's Camera Action says, Lee, your thoughts on double swivel passenger seats? I was undecided for ages. Didn't bite the bullet. Do you know what? They're really good. Especially the new ones from Rusty Lee that sort of turn around and slide into the back of the van. So you and your occupants can be closer to the table if you have one, or you can pull them backwards, point them out the sliding door, and you can just sit back in your chair and look at the sliding door. Personally, if I didn't require a double seat, I would always change it for a single. We did that in Dommy's van, the Bullet, and the moment we changed from a double to a single, it just opened out the van completely, and we absolutely love it. Collie's Camera Action, Martin, Falkirk, Scott. Oh, sorry, I've jumped one. I've jumped 2. The comments keep coming in. Tim says, thanks, Brian Cox. Just in case I get a puncher. Brilliant job. Taraku, I have been travelling with my AC Cobra. Very cool. And yes, I'm Elizabeth. Elizabeth, that's super cool. Travelling with an AC Cobra. Is that a genuine or a replica? I would love to know more. Is it like a matching numbers one? This is all me getting nerdy about American cars now. Love an AC Cobra. Collie's Camera Action says, Martin, Falkirk, Scotland, just back from a day out in the Transit Custom long wheelbase to Glencoe. Me, other half, mother-in-law and 3 collies. Great day, all snug and warm. Lovely job. Lovely job. Marcus is in. Good evening, Marcus. Thanks so much. Make sure you get that like in, Marcus, as well. Marcus is one of our guys from the workshop. In fact, Marcus is the man who will answer your phone call. If you call up the business or your email, he's your man. So thank you very much, Marcus, for tuning in. He says, evening, Leigh, just been watching from the sofa. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And that goes to everybody else for another 10 minutes, 10-minute reminder. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. It really, really is valuable to me and everybody else. There should be some 3 dots somewhere up here that you can click on. Thank you. Elizabeth back in. Toraku Railways just took delivery of my 55 Series 1 pickup truck. No van, but thinking of a camper later on. You're making me jealous. An AC Cobra, is that a Land Rover Series 1 pickup truck? That's super cool. Julian Martin, air fryer in the van. Do you need a big inverter? I bought a cheap one that plugged into the 12-volt power outlet and ran a vac packer. Blew a load of fuses. Yes, if you want to consider any form of high wattage appliance, like a kettle, like a toaster, like an air fryer, you need an inverter that is going to be higher than the peak output of that product. So let's say you've got an air fryer that says it's 1500 watts, but then you flip over on the back and it says peak is 1900 watts. I would say a 2 kilowatt inverter is probably on the verge of being too small. You really might want to move up to a 3 kilowatt inverter. So yes, you can't plug in an air fryer to any inverter. It's got to be rated for the wattage, and this is a video I'm going to be going into further down the line. Moving forward, we're going to get far more in depth with all of this sort of information. But yes, you will need not only an inverter to support it, but a battery to support it as well. So most people are moving to lithium-ion batteries now. They're getting cheaper. Whereas Wilma says, we have the sliding double swivel from Rusty Lee, and it's absolutely brilliant. Makes the life so much easier swiveling it. Brilliant. Ryan Barkley says, safe journeys to all. Nice to meet you from Scotland. Ryan, thank you so much for tuning in. Elizabeth says, it was a replica AC Cobra, but they won a top 10 award in my region. Super job. Beautiful. Whereas Wilma says, at Julian Martin, a 900 watt air fryer would be more than enough and not too power hungry. Absolutely. We picked up a free AC 300 for 30 quid. Yes, like I said earlier, air fryers are getting super cheap. You can pick them up for like 30 quid. Same with induction hobs. They're 30, 35 quid from Aldi, Lidl, Amazon. Super cheap now. Chevrolet split window. Last of the 54 models run out in March. 55. So a Chevy split window Series 2 pickup. You're like living my dream there, Elizabeth. A little bit jealous. Mr. I says, thanks, reffing the Clayton, mate. The problem is I have a Sargent system in it already and hence making it more difficult to fit the Clayton. Yeah, do you know what? I've never been a fan of the Sargent systems. If you've got the option, can it? But I understand if you can't. So, yeah, I've never been a big fan of the Sargent systems. They're just a glorified battery charger. Collie's Camera Action. I did want a double swivel, but the diesel heater and battery was fitted under the seat at the start of the conversion process along with the outlet. I didn't want to move anything. That's totally understandable. However, it is possible to move those things. Brian Cox says, RE bottle jacks, use an axle stand, health and safety, etc. You can buy a foldable axle stand, as I have a couple I use. Don't go under the van just with the jack. Very wise advice. Don't do it. Ricardo says, what brand of inverter would you recommend, Leigh? So we don't exclusively use Victron, but they're our go-to. So in my 40-year-old van Bully, we have what's called an inverter charger. And what that does, that takes inputs from the 240 volt, let's call it the shoreline socket. So you've got input from the 240 volt, you've got input and output. Is that right? No, you've got output from the inverter to your battery, and then you've got output from the inverter charger to your 240 volt. of course you have input from the battery as well, and output. Right, so yes, inverter, input and output from 240 volt and 12 volt, and then output from 240 volt and 12 volt. An inverter charger is exactly what it says on the tin. If you were to plug in your shoreline socket, it would charge your battery, but it also will provide you 240 volts as a bypass. If you request 240 volt from your inverter, it'll take it from the battery automatically, right? So it'll take it from the battery through the inverter and then make 240 volts at your socket. If you then choose to plug in to a shoreline socket, your 240 volt output will not be disturbed. The inverter charger's got a brain in it that will just go, I don't need to use the battery anymore, flick the switch and take the power directly from the shoreline socket and then bypass it straight to 240 volt. I hope that helps. Elizabeth says, air fryers a lot around here, but I never invested in one. Need to try one out. Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very good. DJ Craig's channel. I believe that's a name I've seen before. Says, loving your videos. Thank you very much. Collie's Camera Action. 900 watt air fryer. I'm tempted. What brand? I have a Jackery 1000. Air fryer is an air fryer, really. They're much like a vacuum cleaner. If you had the budget, go for a Ninja, but in reality, you're going to be chucking it in a box in your camper. So just buy the cheapest one available, have a go with it. If you're then tempted to go and buy a more expensive one, go ahead and buy a more expensive one. I wouldn't even know the brand of the one in my camper van. We've got a Ninja on the counter in the kitchen, but the one in the air fryer, sorry, the one in the camper van, it's Amazon brand, who knows. Ben Ashurst, good evening, Ben. Gosh, we're at 50 minutes already. Sorry. Ben Ashurst says, hi mate, second week watching you after finding your YouTubes after buying a custom to convert. What are your opinions on suede? I like the idea of carpet and suede in the rear. Yeah, so it's called either a suede liner or a faux Alcantara. They're brilliant. It's a really nice difference between, and a difference of texture between carpet lining, say all the metalwork in your van, and then having your panels, your ply panels, covered in an Alcantara. If you have, let's say, OCD tendencies, you might not want Alcantara, mainly because it's got a real heavy nap, and by that I mean if you were to just touch it, the colour would change, and then you'd have to stroke it back to then get the colour all the same. If you're somebody that just can't handle a bit of a mess, somebody touching your Alcantara and making the pattern messy, then don't go anywhere near it, stick with carpet. But if you're somebody who's just not bothered, just wants a difference in texture, go ahead, get the suede / Alcantara for sure. Elizabeth Back says, meanwhile, my family immigrated from the UK in 1901. I'm part of the Lines family, and I have a Rubicon Jeep for travelling mountain routes. Elizabeth, I need your life by the sounds of it. These classic Chevy pickup trucks, AC Cobras, a Rubicon Jeep. Sounds rad. Living the life over there. Uniworks Design. That's Chris Camacho from New York State. I believe that is right, isn't it? New York State. Leigh equals Rockstar. Cheers, mate. Thank you so much for tuning in, Chris. It's really good to see you. Goggy says, when not using the van, T6 1.9 diesel, is it bad to not run the engine over long periods? Also, using these vehicles covers to protect the paint from weathering, pros and cons, or not worth it? Do you know what? Car covers, especially a car cover that you're then leaving outside, that have the pros and cons. What I would potentially do over and above that is keep your van super clean, as clean as possible, or hand it over to a valeter and maybe get a ceramic coating, one with like a 1 to 3 year lifespan, because you might find to get a decent cover, you might spend just as much money on a decent valet and then paint protection, and you might find that your paint protection works way better than a vehicle cover. I'm no valeting expert, I'm no vehicle cover or storage expert, but I just know, depending on the environment, you might find that the vehicle might just get mouldy and sweaty and horrible under a cover. Plus, it's more likely to damage the paintwork. Justin Lim, fitted the Rusty Lee double swivel, used your video for advice about cutting down the bolts. Thank you very much, Justin. Elizabeth comes back in and says, I love Alcantara. Collie's Camera Action says, having failed miserably with carpeting the wheel arches, I settled with thin suede liner. Still got little creases, but all hidden by the rib bed and kitchen unit. Whatever works for you. The arches aren't the easiest thing to carpet, that is for sure. Mark Williams is in, says hi. Good evening, Mark. Julian Martin says, is there a go-to hard plastic wipe clean floor you have? I have seen the coin pattern. Do you know what? We are, as of next week, we are going to be a retailer for pre-cut or non-pre-cut Altro Contracts flooring. And Altro Contracts flooring is almost the go-to. If you don't know what Altro Contracts or Altro Walkway flooring is, it's the stuff they use in hospitals, public spaces, ambulances, buses, tubes. It's a really hard-wearing floor. It comes in a multitude of colours and finishes, but it seems to be the go-to for camper vans because it's fairly cheap per square metre, it covers really well, really hard-wearing, and it kind of levels out a bit of a wobbly floor if you can get away with it. So yes, keep an eye on our website, keep an eye on our shop. We will be retailers for Altro Contracts floor very, very soon. If you are wanting a rubber floor, a hard plastic wipe clean, yes, we do have like the faux hex, what do they call it? You know, like the tough aluminium flooring with like the cross hatches in. We do have that, I believe, and the coin pattern, and I believe there's a hex pattern too. Elizabeth says, I play piano only by hearing memory. My piano is from England, 1923. We're learning all about you today, Elizabeth. This is fascinating. I love it. And she also says, hi, Mark. Julian Martin says, also, does the insulation go down first and then screw the M track onto it? Julian, I guess you're talking about floor on a track. Sorry, a bed on rails. Clarify. Apparently, Elizabeth says, loves my tattoos. Thank you very much. This is a sleeve I had designed, if you're interested. It's still not finished. Are they ever? It was a cover-up. I initially had a really bad Chinese tattoo up here. I started with the CVC logo, our company logo here, and then it just grew. Sort of a weird hexagon finish. These spaces here are to put memories and pictures of my children in and things like that. And then these are poppies. They will eventually be red, and they are to commemorate or celebrate my fallen brothers. I am an ex-soldier. I'm ex-British Army, so I've had some buddies, some friends who are sadly not with us anymore through various forms of conflict. So I have the poppies on there to celebrate them. Brian Cox says checker plate. That's the name I was looking for. That's the pattern steel or aluminium. Yes. Luke says cool tattoos, mate. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I would love to finish them one day, but obviously, as with everything, it costs money. And I'd like some more tattoos as well. Luke says, thank you for your service. Sorry for your losses, mate. Do you know what? Thank you. I really appreciate that. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, you sign up for the job and there are risks involved. I was in and out in 8 years. I saw service, I saw conflict, I saw lots of different bits and pieces as well. But yes, I came out after 8 years for good reason. Was it good reason? I don't regret my decision, let's put it that way. Right, we have technically 2.5 minutes left of this live. I do between 8 and 9 p.m. Before we leave, first of all, do you have any further questions? I'm very, very happy to answer them very, very quickly. Secondly, if you've enjoyed this live broadcast, if you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy any of the videos, please, please, please go ahead, find the 3 dots up on your screen somewhere, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. There should be a thumbs up thing there. And also, when this, I say goes live, when this gets loaded up onto our YouTube channel, maybe if you could give that a like and a share or a subscribe as well, that would be super fantastic. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody, not only everybody just being here and tuning in, but everybody letting me know about the channel. They've used it, they've bought bits and pieces based on the information I've given. It's fantastic. So thank you so much. Leslie says, just to let you know, I found someone to put the windows in the van, but they are going to let me help. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Wes Wilmer says, there are not many jobs that ask you to put your life on the line. It takes a certain type of person to do what you did. Thank you for your service. You are very, very welcome. Julian Martin says, another really informative live chat. Thanks, Leigh. You are more than welcome. Elizabeth says, goodbye all. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. You've been very vocal on the chat and I've really appreciated it, learning about you as well. Collie's camera action says, no problem, Leigh. Thanks for what you do. It's so helpful. Converting a van can fry the brain very quickly. Exactly. That's why we're here. Tim says, thanks again, Leigh. It's been educational. Till next time. Cheers. Thank you, sir. DJ Craig's channel. What amp hour battery would you recommend for running a mini fridge with LED lights, charging phone for a maximum of 3 days? Do you know what? If you're conservative with a mini fridge and depending on the environment, you could probably get away with a 95 to 110 amp hour AGM battery. That's probably the minimum I would go with, a 95 or 110 amp hour battery. Ricardo says, can I visit Kon Valley Campers? Yes, absolutely. We have a showroom. It's not finished yet, but you're able to come in and have a look around. But please do. We're based down in East Sussex. Casper, the Friendly Cooking Apple, says, see you next week. Good evening. James says, thanks, Leigh. Have a good week. Thank you so much. Lukey's in there. He was just about to leave a message. I missed it. He's removed it. That is 59 minutes and 40 seconds. Thank you so much, everybody, once again for tuning in. You're 30 seconds early, Dom. What? Dom's been in the background. She's just here. And once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching her on the videos as well. She absolutely loves doing the videos and helping you guys too.
No, I love my van.
Sorry?
No, I love my van.
She says she loves her van too. Right, Leslie says, thank you, Nigel. Collie's camera action says, take care all. Bye from me and the boys, the Collies. Luke says, I would say at least a Jackery 1000. Yeah, that's the power pack. Ricardo says, it's been great. Thank you. Very informative. Have a good week. Goggy Motivate has left a heart as well. Everybody, thank you so, so much. Do you want to do this next week? Do you want to do this next week? Another 8 till 9 p.m. live. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you want to do a live? Let me know very, very quickly. Do we do the same thing next Sunday, 8 to 9 p.m? Julian says, what happened to the girls can do stuff too. Exactly, the girls can do stuff too. That is why my wife built the van with me, or why I helped my wife build the van. People are saying, yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. Wonderful, wonderful. Luke says he'll bring the beers. Brian Cox gives us a thumbs up. Eric 4x4's in, says yes. Julian says yes. Super. I look forward to seeing you all next Sunday. And we will have a video up next Sunday too, with a bit of luck. Keep your fingers crossed. Lovely to speak to everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.